on this computer, yeah, because it's quicker. Right, hey guys, I think we are recording. A huge welcome to week 6. Week 6. Oh my God. You guys have stuck it out with us for probably nearly 10 hours when actually we look at the amount of it's supposed to be 6 hours, but I think it's more like nearly 12. Not gonna lie, which is just amazing. And tonight we are going to finish with an absolute roller coaster steam for you, whatever you want to call it. You know, get your pen and paper ready, because we are going to be talking about the one thing that everybody wants to know how we do. And if I just talk about between myself, Laura, and Laura, I know that I can talk about it. So I've just done annual mentor, which means I sponsored 14 people in the last year and managed to help them all get certified. Laura, I believe, is 1 away from annual mentor, which means 80
like this close.
14 people in the last year and help them all get certified. And Laura, I think, needs 2.
2. Yeah, I'm 2 away.
So that means she's sponsored so far 12. She's going to do her 14 by the time it's up, which means you are talking to people that recruit a minimum of 2 people every single month without fail. So if you're going to get notes from anybody, if you are going to take what we do, we know how to recruit. So we're going to teach you what we do. There is no magic formula, but write it down. Everything we tell you to do, write it down, put it into practice, and I promise you will recruit. Okay, I promise. I'm actually putting that out there as a promise.
I just want to add something onto that though, and I think this is. Oh, do you know what? I will add it on because it might get covered, and then if it doesn't, I'll say it at the end.
Say it at the end. Okay. So
write it down though, because otherwise you might forget.
Yeah, no, I know.
I'm going to hand straight over to our lovely Laura Bynes, and she is going to kick you off tonight. So get your pen ready. Let's go.
Thank you. Okay, right. Literally, I'm so buzzing about tonight. I'm so excited about it. I get really excited anyway talking about sponsoring, because before Scentsy, before being a mummy, I spent my career in recruitment, which is very different, but also obviously has lots of similarities. And I never really saw until recently how easily they kind of transfer across. And so I do get quite excited when I talk about it, because it's something that I feel really, really passionate about. Before we start talking about the whys and the hows and the whens and how we do it, etc., I think the biggest thing, we all spoke about this, is having the mindset around sponsoring. You need to have the right mindset around sponsoring. We know anyway within this business, when it comes to anything, you need to be in the right mindset. You need to have a positive mindset that you can do what it is that you're setting yourself out to do. With anything, if you say to yourself, oh, I'm not sure if I can do it, then you never will do it. You have to have the right mindset before it comes to doing anything, whether it's sharing a product, sharing the opportunity, whatever it is, you need to have that correct mindset. You need to, if you want something, and if what you want to do is to grow your team, you need to believe that you can do it, and you need to stop focusing on it like it is this really super scary thing that you feel happy to share the product and you feel happy to approach people if they want to buy wax and warmers, but all of a sudden, yes, whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. So true. And I think that people feel really comfortable with sharing our product, but as soon as it comes to the word sponsoring, people go, oh, I can't sponsor. I've heard that so many times, I can't sponsor. And I'll say, well, why? Oh, I just can't. Like, either the answers tend to be either they feel uncomfortable asking somebody to join, or they don't know how to ask somebody to join, or they're not sure what they should say when it comes to somebody joining. And I always just say, you've got to get that to the back of your mind and just focus your mindset on the fact that you can get people to join your team, and you want to get people to join your team. And I think the biggest flip in your mindset needs to be realizing what having people joining your team, not what necessarily it's going to do for you. I mean, obviously we know it's going to do great things for you, but you need to focus more on what people joining your team is going to do for them. And I think the moment you flip your mind to that, that's when it becomes easy, because you don't think, oh God, I feel uncomfortable asking somebody to join. You think, oh my God, I want to tell everyone to join because this is amazing and it's going to do amazing things for them and they're going to love it and they're going to be super happy and they're going to be on this huge roller coaster of excitement like we are always on. The moment you flip your mind to that, it becomes easy, because you think, why wouldn't I want to talk to somebody about this? Why wouldn't I want to tell my best friends or mums at school or my family or whoever it happens to be, why wouldn't I want to tell them? Why would I hold this journey back from them? And I think as soon as I flipped my mind to that, because don't get me wrong, in the beginning I was very much the same. I was like, oh God, I don't know how to ask someone to join my team, and what should I say, and how do I approach it? As soon as I realized, actually, I'm offering them this amazing opportunity that I am loving every single second of, and I feel super selfish if I don't offer that out to somebody. Like, that's mean of me to not go, look, here you go, there's this amazing opportunity for £85 or less, which Laura will cover. There's this amazing opportunity that can literally change your life. Why would I keep that all to myself? And as soon as you flip your mindset to think it's about them as opposed to you, that tends to be a bit of a light bulb moment where you go, okay, this isn't about me at all, this is totally about them. And when you do that and you have people join your team, trust me, if you don't have anyone on your team yet and you're wondering, why does everyone go on about growing your team? Yes, obviously it's going to benefit you. Yes, obviously it's going to take you up in the conversation plan. But actually, the thing that far outweighs all of that for me is the enjoyment I have from having people on my team. When people message me and they're like, oh my God, I'm nearly certified. It's the best feeling in the world. When they message you and they're like, oh my God, I've just done this or I've just done that. It makes you feel so excited for them, so much more excited than you are when somebody messages you with an order. It just feels amazing. And I think as soon as you start to focus on that and switch your mindset to that side of it, as opposed to I need to sponsor because I need to move up in the conversation plan, I need to sponsor because I want more money, I need to sponsor because I want to get the incentive. Like, don't get me wrong, of course you're going to be somewhere in your mind thinking those things, but that needs to be the back thought of your mind, and the front thought of your mind is what actually sponsoring can do for them. So to get yourself into the mindset of sponsoring, first of all, you need to focus on it, and you need to believe that you can, because if you say that you can't and you feel icky about it, then it's going to come across like that when you're speaking to people. So you've got to stop overthinking it. I think that's the classic thing, is people overthink sponsoring. They're quite happy to say to their friend, oh my God, have you seen the angel wing warmers? I think you'd absolutely love it. But they're not so okay with saying to their friend, oh my God, you buy so much Scentsy, why don't you just join? Like, where is there any different? Why are you happy to ask your friend to spend £42 on a warmer, but you're not happy to say to your friend, spend £50 on a hose join kit? There's no difference. And so you need to stop overthinking that question around sponsoring and start to realize that actually sharing the opportunity is exactly the same as sharing the product. There is no difference. So when you start to get your mindset around sponsoring, I think the biggest thing that I found is to make sure that you're not selling the opportunity to someone. Like we said actually previously when we're talking about PRV, you are sharing the opportunity with somebody. And that all comes in again to the whole attraction marketing thing. If you are wanting to grow your team and you want to start sponsoring, and you just start putting up some pictures of the join kit, or you start putting up a post saying, join my team, or you put up a post like a really generic flyer about joining Scentsy, that's when, again, that whole sponsoring is being about you, and you haven't made it about anybody. And you're not going to attract people like that, because if I was to read it, or if you were to read it, if you were to read somebody, I don't know, from Arbonne or Tropic or whoever it is, with a flyer saying, join my team, you're not going to stop and look at it. You're literally just going to scroll on by. It's not attractive. There's absolutely no reason why you're going to think, oh yeah, I want to join their team, because they're not telling you anything. They're not telling you a story. They're not kind of, I don't want to say coaxing you in, but they're not attracting you to their business. They're not telling you what their business is doing for them. And I think that's one of the main things. And it's like when we say about driving your PRV, you've got to, like I've just said, show what it's going to do for them as opposed to what it's going to do for you. So when it comes to putting your join posts up, I think the biggest thing I have found, and I think Lisa and Laura probably agree when it comes to any join posts that they've ever done, I don't do join posts. I've never put up a join post on my page, ever.
Never.
I don't like them. I don't find them interesting. I wouldn't stop and scroll. I mean, I wouldn't stop, so I'd go scrolling quite. So, sorry, hon. Right.
So you mean with the words join my team on?
Yeah. So join my team and just a picture of the kit.
Yeah, never.
Or just a generic join my team. Whenever I have done join posts, I never think in my head, oh, I'm doing a join post. I literally will put a post up as if I am telling a story about my Scentsy journey. So it will always have something to do with something that is happening within my Scentsy journey. And I make it about how Scentsy has benefited my life, or how Scentsy has given me this opportunity, or how Scentsy has given me these wonderful friends, etc., etc. I'm going to give you an example that actually I got the Teamie, somebody joined my team off the back of this post. And now when I wrote this 100% wasn't a join post. This was just kind of from the heart, something that happened at the time. And I wrote it down, and I had a message 2 days later saying, I've just seen that post and it really stood out to me. I've been thinking about joining your team. And it literally was like that little light bulb went off, and I just thought, this is exactly how we should be sharing this opportunity. So I'm just going to read it out to you because I think it's quite important. Okay, so this was just after Christmas. It was a picture of a laptop next to my obsidian. So it actually was just like an attraction marketing post, because I was putting a picture of the obsidian in there. So yeah, that was the picture. And then I put on here, yesterday Patrick bought me a laptop. This is something I've wanted for ages, but with all of our house renovations ongoing, it's just not been our #1 priority. But when I opened this yesterday, alongside my excitement came total appreciation for what this incredible business has brought me with such little investment. I've reached the very top of the company, working solely from my phone. I have no fancy office, no computer, it's just me and my phone, part-time, whilst being a full-time mummy to my 3 kiddies. I'm bringing in almost a 5-figure salary working from my phone. How insane is that? But do you know what excites me? That this is possible for everyone and anyone. Anyone that loves Scentsy can do this. You don't need anything but utter love for the product to succeed in this business, and that's what makes it so special. This isn't a post to boost about what I'm earning, and I hope that's not how it reads. I just want everyone to know how special this is and how amazing it is to be part of it. So I put that post up, and I had somebody join my team after.
I'm thinking, I'm going to join your team.
I want to join. And the thing is, that's totally like in the moment and written in the moment, not premeditated, how you're feeling. And like you say, like, why would you not share that? And like, it's just so, it's just so perfect.
Yeah, and the thing is, with a post like that, as I say, I did somebody join my team off the back of that, and she said, do you really just work off of your phone? And I was like, yeah, up until I got my laptop. I said, I've just done everything from my phone. And I just said, I don't have anything else. There's no airs or graces. It's just me. And I said to her as well, like, she was in my customer group, I was like, you see what my life is like, you see that my life is hectic, you see that I've got 3 kiddies and 1 is still at home. I said, and this is why I love what I do. This just fits into my life. And I was being totally truthful to her and speaking to her about that. But actually, another reason I had that part of that conversation with her when she approached me is because I know she's a busy mum. I know that would be the first thing that she'd go, I have got quite a busy life. And this all goes back to what we spoke about last week with customer service and getting to know your customers, because I knew her as my customer, because I know what her life is, and she's just not someone I just sell to and I don't get involved with. I know her, and I know that if she ever did consider joining my team, her first worry would be, am I going to fit it into my life?
Yeah.
And so when she spoke to me about it, I was like, it works perfectly with me and my kids. Not because she had asked me how I fit it in. I was just telling her because I know her and I wanted to tell my story, I guess. And so I think with that post, and any of my posts I've ever put up about joining, my other ones have been like when I've got incentives and stuff like that, they will always be, and I think we spoke about this earlier, it's more, I will be telling a story. And there was a quote, and I can't remember what you said, Laura, about the...
Facts tell, stories sell.
Yes, exactly that. I went to write it down. I was like, oh, I can't remember what it was. But it's so true. It's like at World Tour. Is it Kendra Hall?
Yeah.
That was her name, wasn't it? And she done that part that she done about telling your story. And I thought, when it comes to sponsoring, I don't think there is anything more that you need to think about than telling your story. That's what it is. And that's what people want to hear. They don't want to hear you say, join my team, because join my team is just saying, I want to make more money. Join my team, I want to make some more money. That's all it sounds like. Whereas if you're, sorry, go on.
I think this is really, because I think people might think, oh, well, you know, you've got a story to tell when you've reached superstar director, or you've got there and you've got that. But just as an example, I was just trying to think, it's as relevant as, I remember literally when I started and I was waitressing, working crazy hours, working like 3 jobs. I remember writing a post that I'd been waitressing the night before, and I got in at 1 o'clock in the morning, and we got up and it was like Saturday or Sunday, and we were able to take the kids out and buy them milkshakes with my Scentsy money. So that's not buying a big fancy house or a dream car and all that jazz. That's buying my kids milkshakes out of my money that I'd earned with Scentsy. So you can do it from day one. It can be you've bought your food shopping. It's whatever it means to you at that time in your journey.
Yeah, and I think that's what's really important. It is showing what Scentsy is doing for you. It's not writing a post saying, oh my God, I'm earning loads of money. It's not writing a post saying, I've hit the top of the company or anything like that. That just happened to be that particular post. But I've got obviously lots of other times when we took the kids to Legoland. I've always wanted to take the kids to Legoland. But whenever we've said about taking it, Patrick's obviously more sensible than me. And he's like, no, it's too expensive. We're not taking them. So we've never been. And so then last year I was like, we're taking the kids to Legoland and I'm paying. So you can't say that we're not going. And I done a post and it was a picture of the kids outside Legoland, literally looking the happiest they've ever looked in their life. And I, again, just done a post just saying, this is what Scentsy means to me. Being within Scentsy has given me the freedom to be with my kids and to actually be able to do things like this for them. And the interaction that you get on posts like that, because I think that people don't really understand what it's about. And I think whenever people think about sponsoring, they worry. I think they have that mindset that you're worrying that, oh, is this awkward? Oh, I don't know if I want to ask someone to join my team because what will they think? And are they thinking that I just want to make money out of them and things like that? Flip your mindset. You are not doing it for that reason. You are doing it because if you think why you love Scentsy, if you're thinking about why you're thinking it's so amazing, if you think about what it has done for you, then share it with people. That is where you want to be thinking about sponsoring. You don't want to be thinking about anything else. You want to be thinking about, I bloody love Scentsy because it's allowed me to pay off my car. Or I bloody love Scentsy because actually it means I can be doing the school runs. Whatever it is that you love about Scentsy and that it's giving you the freedom to do, talk about that. When you are trying to sponsor people, talk about that. Talk about what it has allowed you to do, because that is going to open up so many more conversations. And as we know, this is network marketing. The business we are in is all about networking with people, getting to know people, talking to people. Sharing that opportunity is no different to sharing the product. But when you're sharing the opportunity, you're just telling them simply how it fits within your life. You're telling them what it has done for you. You're telling them why you love it and what it can do for them, not what it can do for you, what it can do for them. And as soon as they see that and they can see the utter excitement and that you actually genuinely love it. Like, I think that's what people, if I talk to people, they're like, you literally live and breathe it, don't you? And I'm like, yeah, I love it. Like, to the bottom of my heart, I love it. And that's why I want everyone else to have that opportunity, because seeing people join and love it too is the best feeling in the world. So if you're nervous about sponsoring, focus on that feeling you're going to have when you have that first Teamie and they message you and they're like, oh my God, I've got my first order. That's the best feeling in the world. So if you're thinking, oh, I don't know if I want a Teamie, trust me, think about that moment and that 100% flips it. And then once you have that, you're like, oh my God, I want more of this. And I want more of these people to enjoy this. I want more of these people to be feeling on top of the world. And actually as well, once you've got over that first hurdle of that first join conversation, it's a bit like the first time of going live. First time you go live, you're like, I don't want to do it, I don't want to do it, I don't want to do it. And you feel super nervous about it. And then you do it, and you're like, oh, it really wasn't that bad. It's exactly the same with having those join conversations with people. And I'm not going to go into this part because I know Lisa's going to, but what I will say as well is don't let somebody saying no make you give up when it comes to sponsoring. And the reason I'm going to say this, I'm not going to go into it because Lisa's going to cover this, but I worked in recruitment for 10 years, I think it was. And my first few years of working in recruitment, I worked for a headhunting company. So we didn't get CVs sent to us. We didn't get people approaching us about jobs. We had to go out and poach people from one retail store and offer them the opportunity at another retail store. So I had to cold call, which I felt really uncomfortable at, but I had to cold call people, asking them if they wanted the job opportunity, which now makes me kind of cringe because I'm like, oh, that's just not me. But that's what I had to do. And some days I would have called 100 people, and every single person would say, no, I'm not interested. No, I'm not interested, not interested, not interested. I'd keep calling and I'd keep calling and I'd keep calling. And then number 101 would go, oh yeah, okay, yeah, I'm interested. And that person would then go on to have an interview and then earn me a big fat amount of commission. And now I'm not saying it's the same within Scentsy, because it's totally different. We're not cold callers, we're not spammy, we're not going down that route. But the reason I'm making that point is, just because one person says no to you, or even if 10 people say no to you, that doesn't mean that you give up. That doesn't mean that you go, oh no, I can't sponsor. Because number 11 might be the person that says yes. And number 11 might be your total rock star. And that might be that person that skyrockets you and them to the top. So don't give up because one person has said no to you. And also, a no isn't a no forever. It's just a no right now. And that is such a big thing that you have to remember, because if I think of so many people on my team that said no to me, and if I had gone, oh, well, they don't want the opportunity, like the amount of people that were like, no, I don't want to do it. Lucy, if you're watching now, Lucy's a total rock star. She's only been with us for a little while, but I know so many times I was like, you'd be amazing at this, you just need to join my team, you would absolutely love it. She was like, no. And it became a bit of a joke. Every time she picked up her order, I was like, you just need to join, don't you? She'd be like, oh, no, I'm not going to do it. And then one day she went, actually, okay, I think I will. And I just thought, if I had stopped on asking after that first time when she said no, she'd never now be on my team, and she'd never be experiencing the things that she's experiencing now. And she's absolutely rocketing, and she's loving every second of it, and I'm loving every second of it. And if I'd given up on that first time when she said no, that never would have happened. So if somebody does say no to you, if you go, right, okay, I'm going to get super brave and I've switched my mindset and I'm now going to think about doing these joint conversations, if then someone says no to you, don't let that affect your mindset. Don't let that put you in that negative thought. Because if you message someone and say, do you need any wax? And they go, no, I don't need any. You don't go, oh my God, I'm not going to message anyone else if they need any wax. You just go, oh, okay, they don't need any. Move on to the next person and see if they need some wax. It doesn't affect your mindset if somebody says no to buying something. So don't let it affect your mindset if someone says no to the opportunity. Because it might just not be the opportunity for them right now. It may be the opportunity for them in 6 months. It just isn't right now. So don't let that affect your mindset if somebody gives you that no, because I always say it's a no right now. If you know somebody is going to be wonderful on your team and you know they're going to love it, then it's a no right now. It's not a no forever. So you keep asking that person. I've totally gone off tangent. I haven't even looked at my notes. So before I hand over, I'm going to check if there was anything that I did actually write down that is super important, because I've literally not looked at them. No, I think that was literally all of it. And the only other thing that I was going to say is let people see as much as possible why you love it. And it's like we said with the attraction marketing when it comes to sales. If you are on your social media and you're like, oh my God, there's not enough hours in the day, I'm so busy, and I literally, like, my kids are going out the door without having a proper breakfast because I literally haven't got my ducks in a row and all of that, like literally, if you're being that person on social media, just bear in mind that the people are watching, and people that are thinking potentially about joining your team might be like, oh, she's super stressed and super busy. That's probably because Scentsy's taken over her life, so I don't think I'm going to do that. Like, what you present on social media is so important. And I'm not saying be fake, I'm not saying be false at all, but just obviously be aware. You're about to sneeze, Lisa, I can see.
I was going to, and I just silenced my things. I didn't want to do it too loud, but when it goes, and then
but yeah, I think that I literally haven't covered my notes at all. I'm so sorry. So I've probably missed out like a whole heap of things, but I just got a bit overexcited. But yeah, just my biggest thing is make it personal. Show your face, tell your story, show people what it's done for you, and realize that it's about them and that it's not about you. And I just think any time that you do something in your life that's made you go, oh, that's because of Scentsy, share it. Because as I said, when you flip your warmer on in the morning, you're quite happy to take a picture of that and share your warmer. But if you've just bought your kids new pairs of trainers or whatever it is with your Scentsy money, then share it. Because if you'll share the product, share the opportunity, there is absolutely no difference. And if you think about it in your head, I always think it's like to flip the script a little bit. And instead of thinking, I'm going to sell to someone and then I'm going to try and get a party for them and then I'm going to ask them to join. We were talking about this earlier. Flip it round. The first conversation you have, have it about joining. You're not interested in joining? Okay, great. Would you like a party? No, you don't want a party? Okay, cool. Like, which woman was it you're interested in? No, nobody's going to turn around when you ask them to join and go, well, now you've asked me to join, I don't want to buy Scentsy from you. That's not going to happen. It's just not. But if you never ask, you're never going to get. And it's as simple as that. You could have somebody that you think is going to be a total rock star, and if you never ask them, they're just going to go and be a rock star for someone else.
Hell yes.
Oh yes.
Sorry, I've gone off on a tangent, so I'm going to hand over.
Shall I go on from there? Because I think that goes quite nicely on to going for the known consistency. Are you happy with that, Laura?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Okay, by the way, when Laura was talking and she read out her post, I was supposed to share on the screen. In your workbook that we did you right at the beginning, loads of you were saying to us, I don't know how to write posts, I don't know how to write posts. We've given you so many examples. I mean, Laura, your post honestly was like giving me inspiration running through my head. And yeah, I was feeling very emotional. So it's done the trick. And it really made me actually think about my own join post and thought, you need to up your game, girl. You need to up your game. So we know that. Right, okay, so I'm going to talk to you a little bit about, I'm going to carry on with, Laura was starting to sort of touch on consistency and going for the no. How many people, I've already seen, Rachel's just said that she's asked 20 people already this month. So Rachel's just answered my question. How many people have you asked to join since the 1st of March? Put it down. I know for me personally, I'm asking at least a minimum of 3 a day. Laura, how many have you asked? No pressure.
Oh yeah, definitely a couple a day at least.
Yeah, I would always make sure I have at least a conversation per day. It should be more though. I'm aware mine should be more, but it will at least be one every day.
Okay, we want to turn those low numbers into high numbers. So I'm going to talk about the fact that it is a little bit of a numbers game. I don't like to say it's a numbers game, but it is. There's no doubt about it. To recruit or sponsor, whatever you want to call it, a high number of people, you have got to be having a high number of conversations. So this takes us right back. And this is why we chose to do sponsoring in the last week, because literally we're now tying together all the things we've taught you to bring it together for you to go, oh yeah, okay, that now makes sense. Like when we talked about, you need to be having lots of conversations, you need to be building your customer base all of the time. This is the reason why, because every single customer that buys a product from you, whether it's 1 bar of wax or whether it's 200 quid's worth of wax, you should have had a conversation with them at some point since they've been your customer about whether they want to join your Scentsy team, whether they're your best customer, whether they're your worst customer, whether they're your customer that maybe drives you insane because they've got 20,000 different choices of favorite wax. It doesn't matter. Every single person that you have given any form of customer service to, you should be able to tick off on a sheet and go, yeah, I've asked them to join my team at some point without using the words, join my team. At least ask them, have they considered joining, for example? The more people that you ask, the more chance that you're going to get a yes. My personal numbers is, I would say that 1 person in 10 tends to be, no, actually, I think it's like 1 person in 30 tends to be a yes. Now, some of you might be sitting there going, 30? Are you joking? Like, I've asked 4 people this month. That's going to take you all year to get 1 teammate. So you need to be up in the game with the amount of people that you're talking to. Think about the numbers. Now, as Laura just said, if you're doing it the right way and you're using it via networking, every time someone orders, I actually drop it into conversation now. I say things like, oh, I'm just literally filling out an order form for you. I'm not. I'm writing it down in my book. They don't know that. I'm just filling out an order form for you. And one of the boxes on here is, would you ever consider joining Scentsy? I haven't just said, join my team. I've just asked the question, like somebody's just asked me, would I like tomato ketchup with my burger? Yes, please. No, thank you. And literally, they're going to come back to you with a yes or no answer. And if you did that every single time you took an order from a customer, obviously you need to make note of it somewhere, because there might be some customers that maybe order from you 4 times a month. And if they're saying four times no in a month, they might get a little bit, yeah, I've had enough of this now. I've got a customer tonight, before we came live, hold on, my battery's died. And I think I messaged her. She did this dance on her Facebook, and it was like a mum dance. And she was like, my kids have gone back to school, and she did this dance and she videoed it. So I messaged her, and my message said something along the lines of, oh my God, you just need to join my Scentsy team, because the amount of interaction, I did say join my team, because we've had this conversation probably 6 times over where I've said, have you considered joining? You would be amazing. She's a nail tech. She's got like She's very busy. She's got a few jobs. And I said to her, seriously, the interaction that you just got on that post, if you didn't sell Scentsy, you would be mad. And she's like, do you know what, Lise? I am really, really busy right now. But when things slow down, she said, I will seriously think about it for you. And it literally was a really tongue-in-cheek, like, I was only joking. Like, of course I wanted to join, but it was very jokey. And it's just as simple as that. You need to make asking people, go for that no. Don't be afraid to go for the no. Make it a regular thing. You need to build sponsoring or asking people to join into your daily actions every single day. I think I said that to Laura Fromlin. I don't know if she's watching, but we spoke today about recruiting on the phone. And I said to her, oh, I'm asking at least three people to join my team every day today. And she just went really quiet. And she's like, what, you're doing that every day? And I said, yeah, like every day I'm finding 3 people. Now, if you're sitting there thinking, right, I haven't got enough customers for that, then that's where you need to start. Go and find some more customers, build that, and then start asking them to join your team. But you've got to go for the no. You've got to be, giving yourself enough no's to get that yes. 1 or 2 questions. Would you like to join? Have you considered joining? It's not going to be enough. It's not going to be enough if you really are serious about joining and building a team. I remember when I first joined, I started asking people, Laura told me to, she started saying, well, just ask people to join. And I'm like, okay. So I did. Every single person that I come across, I said, do you want to join? My first Teamie had bought from me once and I didn't know her from Adam. And she sold with me for a whole year. Didn't know her from Adam.
Can I just add something in really quickly to that? Now, I feel like Lisa and I have learned together. Now, Lisa didn't have a sponsor, i.e. me, and I totally hold my hands up. At the point that I was Lisa sponsoring joining, I didn't do anything like this with her. I didn't do any trainings. I just said, just ask people. That's what I do. And that was it, as far as it went, because I was still really early in my journey as well. So you don't have to have all the knowledge. It is a simple, and that's the training that Lisa got. So honestly, the fact that you guys have got this is amazing, but it is just about not overthinking it, because Lisa and Laura never had that from me. It was just ask people, and that was it.
And it literally was as simple as that. Every single customer that bought something from me, everyone that had a party and their party went over 245, I asked them, would you want to join? Would you want to join? I don't know if Faye's watching. If Faye's watching tonight, I think I asked at every party. She had 2 parties a year from me, every party for 3 years. We're talking, and I asked her more. I asked her when we was in Marbella. I was putting on an order in Marbella, laying on the bed, and she was reading the order out from my order book. And I said, you should just join. And she was like, no, I'm not interested. But she's a lead consultant now and probably not far off of going to hit star. And she's got a team. So it just goes to show, as Laura said, it's not always going to be yes straight away. So you've got to be going for that no. Now, I know that there are loads of people that say, and I'm going to ask you, how many people have said this? How many people have said this big question that says, oh, but they're my best customer and I earn really good money off them? Tell me, yes, if you have got that customer that you are scared to ask to join your team because they spend loads of money with you. And you're like, oh my God, can't afford to lose them as a customer. Okay. Be honest. Be honest. Be honest. Okay. Okay. So let me give it to you like this. I want you to think about it like this. Customer, we're going to call her Sally. Sally comes in and I don't know, I just got that name from, by the way. Customer Sally comes in and she orders with you £200 worth of Scentsy. And you're like, hey, this is why you're my best customer. And I'm going to give you all the goodies. And I'm not going to ask you to join, because if you join, I'm not going to have a 200 PRV order and I'm not going to get active. And I'm really worried. Okay. From that order, you're going to get 166 PRV. Okay. Go and listen to these numbers. I'm making sure I'm getting these numbers right. You're going to get paid 25% on the PRV from Sally's order, which is £37. Okay. So you're going to get, if you're certified, you're obviously going to get 20%. So work that out based where you are. But if not, and if you get your 2,000, you'll obviously get 30% on that. So it'd be a little bit more. Now, Sally has just bought a really big order with you. So she's probably not going to, she might order some little bits each month, but she might not do a big order like that. Like, there aren't many of us that have got customers that spend £200 a month. And if you have, you definitely should have signed them up by now. Now, let's say you signed Sally up. You put in 500 PRV and you show Sally how to put in 500 PRV. And Sally does that every single month for 6 months. As a certified consultant, as a lead consultant, you're going to earn 4% on Sally. That's a 4% bonus. Now, that's £24. Doesn't sound like a lot of money. But when you add that up over 6 months and Sally hasn't bought from you for that 6 months, you're going to earn off of Sally £149. So if she orders from you once in 6 months, 200 quid, oh yeah, big customer, 37 quid in your pocket. But if she joins you as a team for 6 months, every single month, and she brings in her 500 PRV, you're going to earn £24 every month. For 6 months, that's £149 just from having one team member. It doesn't sound like a huge amount of money, but if you imagine you recruited 10 of Sally over 6 months, that's £1,149 over 6 months. That's over £100 a month. Can you see where I'm going with this? Okay. Literally, that is it is a mic drop moment. And when we did the maths earlier, Laura was saying about it. She said, oh my God, like it's such a misconception. And it is the biggest misconception. And this is why when your customers say to you, oh, I just like doing this to help you out, your response to that should be, you can help me out more by actually joining. And I can help you. I think they don't understand it. They don't get it. But also, for you guys, you've got to think of it like that. Don't not ask your best customer to join because you're worried that you can't replace that PRV. You can replace that PRV. You can replace 166 PRV. Easy. Easy. That's like 2 big warmers and a 6-pack of wax. You can do that. Easy peasy. Just got to put your mind to it. Get the mindset. Get your head down and focus. So that should hopefully maybe be a little bit of an eye-opener. There is that misconception of, I can't recruit my best customer. Yes, you can. I want you to all go and ask your best customers to join. I'm going to ask some of mine. And I want you guys to go and ask some of yours. Okay? So, also with your best customers, you can always add up how much they've spent with you, work out how much they could have actually earned in commission, and talk about it like cash back. Because you could say, look, you don't actually need to recruit a team. You don't have to put in orders for anybody else, but you actually get enough orders. You spend enough with me in 1 month to have an active order, which means you're going to get £24 free credit, and you're also going to get cash back in your bank. And that's a really good way to talk to them. So that's your numbers game. That's your consistency. Now, one of the things that popped up quite a lot, I noticed earlier when we asked you about what sort of conversation you have with people, is about sending people information. And I get asked this all the time. This is probably like the #1 question that comes in my inbox, is about join packets and giving people information who want to join Scentsy. So this is something that I think is a tool for me that makes me money. This is an income producing tool. I have these made up. I've got about 6 over there, and I try and advertise them at least once a week. And I'm going to show you what's in my join packets, and then I'm going to come back to talk about my last little bit. So these join packets, I quite often take a little picture of, and I put them on my stories with a poll, normally saying who would like one of these for free. It's completely free. And I put them on my customer group. I put them on my personal Facebook. I put them everywhere, basically. I put them everywhere. And the stickers that say join my team are in the success store. The packets are the same ones that I advertised the other week. They're in everybody's group. And I think they're actually out of stock. I think we might have out of stocked them. So what goes in my join packets? Now, I am going to share with you, don't worry about writing all this down. I'm going to share with you my Google Drive, which has got blank versions of every single document that's in here that you can then just make your own and personalize if you wish. So I'll give every single person a catalogue. Oh my God, this smells amazing. It smells like windowsill breeze and coconut lemongrass mixed together. So one catalogue, got all my details on it. When people want to join, sometimes they literally want to sit with a cup of coffee and flick through a catalogue and they want to read. Some people don't want to be texted. Some people don't want to be phoned. Some people don't literally want to have messages back and forth. They literally just want something in their hands that they can read. So this is like a really good way to entice people in. I use this more as an attraction marketing thing on my social media, and I've had quite a lot of joiners off of the back of my join packs. So I've also got in there, this is copied off of another leader, 10 reasons why you should join Scentsy. It's just got some pictures of me, pictures from World Tour, and then it's got 10 reasons why you should join. A picture of the host join kit and how they could join for £25 because it is a personal special, so it has to be done on a one-to-one basis. Really, really important. A little bit about this needs updating, but a little bit about my why and my journey. I've even talked a little bit about my income in there. Again, really needs updating. But I've talked a little bit about my income in there, because generally people sometimes don't want to ask you like what potentially they could earn with Scentsy. Although I did have a guy this week, he just asked me outright, how much do you earn? That was an interesting conversation. Business card will always go in there. And then realistically, it's just a sample pack. Okay, everything in here is a sample pack. Join the journey leaflet that's from Scentsy Success Store, my own Scentsy sponsoring leaflet that I made. Again, I'll take pictures and show you. And then everything that goes in my sample packs. So stuff about Scentsy Club, scavenger hunt, samples, loads of samples, a little bit about what Scentsy is, and most importantly, a freebie. This is something I don't give in my join pack, in my sample packs, a whole scent circle, but I always do in a join pack, because technically they are trying the product. And I find join packs tend to go to people that have never tried Scentsy before. They're more likely to ask for one of these. So they're a really good tool to use for putting it out there, to ask people if they want information. It's another route of being Scentsy sick on people. I used to find that people would ask me for information on joining, and I felt so excited that they'd even asked that I was like, like this, as you can imagine. And I literally Scentsy vomited on people, like with excitement of telling them all about the commission, telling them about the compensation plan, about minimum orders. And I must admit, I've scaled that back massively now. Literally, every person I talk to, it's literally, there's zero pressure, zero targets. I do all the zeros. We keep it really fun. It's definitely scaled back. But the join pack allows me to really not be Scentsy sick on anybody. It allows me to really rein it in and make sure I'm just giving them the key information's all in there. And then I can go to them with that really important question is, have you got any questions? Is there anything that you would like to know about joining Scentsy? Because at the end of the day, it's about you. It's not about me. It's not about anybody else. It's about you. Like, what could this do for you? And normally in that time when they've had a join pack, I have that conversation, like sort of saying, look, why do you want to do this? Like, I want to know. And some people might think, God, you're going to really put them off by asking them why. Because some people might go, especially those that have approached you about joining, it doesn't happen often. Laura, you get loads of people that have approached you. Like, people just literally magnet into you. And they do. They really do. But it's where you're so good at that attraction marketing. And when those people do... when those people do come to you and say, oh, I think I'd really like to join, one of the first questions you want to be finding out is why? Why do they want to do it? Like, what, I got told, I don't know if she's on here, I won't say her name, but one of my team I'd never met before, it was actually from a sponsored post that I did on Facebook, and told me, this was within 2 days of messaging, that she wanted to buy a new carpet for her flat. I rang Laura and I cried. I actually cried on the phone, and she was like, oh my God, are you all right? And I was like, I know, but I've had it was an epiphany, because someone was telling me that this is what they wanted to do. This is the improvement they wanted to make on their life. And I was like, I want to make that happen. I want to literally give her all the tools to make that happen. And then when we messaged and when we talked about, going for her active orders, I could say, look, we're that step closer to getting that carpet. And it sounds silly, but that was her why. So it's not silly. It literally, that was her why. And it really, really got me. And especially when people then open up to you, it takes your relationship on a whole new level. So if you can break down that barrier of them saying, yeah, do you know what? I think I would like to join. Finding out why they want to join as well. Really, really important. So join packets are a great way to do that and open up a really great conversation. I can't remember what else I was going to talk about. I've talked about it's a numbers game. I think that is, hold on. So in terms of, I didn't really talk about consistency. Last little bit for me. So more than anything, you've heard the word consistency probably from us spoken about every single week. And some of you might be like, I'm so sick of hearing that. It's not a magic formula, but it really is. And this is probably the biggest thing for me is if you don't advertise regularly that you would like to, that people can join your team, not that you would like a team, that people can join you. What will happen is they will think that you're not building a team. They will then go and find somebody else. And that's happened to me. It's happened to me before, where someone then comes to me and went, Liz, I've joined Scentsy. And I was like, not with me. Like, what? And she was like, oh, I didn't know you was sponsoring at the time. Or I didn't really get it. So you need to make sure that you are putting it out there regularly. Now, if you're someone that's like, I would forget to do it, it just isn't built into my habits, make it a habit. Set yourself an alarm on your phone twice a week to be like, I need to post about a join opportunity. Now, whether that's posting the kit, I don't do it very often, but this week's probably been the first time I've actually posted the kit in a really, really long time. My posts are very similar to Laura and Laura's. Like, it's that whole look at what we're doing right now, how much I'm grateful for what is going on within my life, and letting people know that. And that sort of draws people in and having those conversations. But when I'm deciding I need a Teamie, I'm going to focus on that. I literally put all my efforts. I make sure that I put it out there every single day for a whole week. And that's why, like, lots of us are doing these sponsoring challenges at the minute where we're giving you ideas to do daily. If you take those and you run with them, it's bringing in consistency. It's making sponsoring become part of your everyday business. Sponsoring should be as natural to you as selling a wax bar. It's simple as that. Literally putting it out there into the world, whether it's a poll, whether it's a story, whether it's a join post, whether it's a post on your personal page. I bet if I ask on here, how many of you have never put a join post of any description on your personal Facebook? Not your customer group, not your business page, not your stories, on your personal Facebook. And there's a little world at the top where you can go edit post, and you can make it public so that every single person, whether you're friends with them or not, in the whole world can search join Scentsy, and believe it or not, your post will come up. So if you've never done that, make it a priority to go and get a post out there. It doesn't have to be, come join my team. Exactly like Laura's explained, exactly like the posts are here. Get it on your personal Facebook, but make it consistent. Personal Facebook, maybe every 2 weeks, put one on there. Customer group, every week. Stories, every week, twice a week, at least. When you're putting it out there that amount of times, hopefully that will start to build intrigue. It will start to build people liking on those posts. If they like that post, inbox them. Send them, thanks so much for liking my sponsor post. I really appreciate it. Have you ever considered joining? It's an opener for a conversation. They've literally liked your post. They've loved your post. They've seen it. Pop them a little message. Just make sure they're not a Scentsy consultant first. Okay, handing over to you, Laura.
Okay, cool. Right. I have literally just tried to make some bullet point notes so I can go through each little point and not talk for another hour because I don't want to keep on that. But these are all points that they all merge into each other, and they're all so relevant and so literally, oh God, it just sets like a fire in my belly. So there's a couple of things just following on from what Lisa said that I didn't want to interrupt because I'm not being rude when I do that. I just get overexcited. So first one is, I'm going to throw out some quotes because we all love now. I love a quote, right? Find your why, you'll find your how. And that's why when Lisa says ask people about finding your why, if you think about why you're doing it, that's why, or why you originally did it, that was your drive. There's a really good book called Start With Why by Simon Sinek. And it's so incredible. And that's, people will have an emotional attachment to doing it. So like Lisa said, it's about building relationships and finding, and that's why it's so important to find their why. The next thing, when Lisa just said about habits, show me your habits, I'll show you your future. Your whole life is built on your habits. So it's things like, if you said, oh, I don't know, like coming back to what we said the other week, I'm not a morning person. That's a load of rubbish. You just make yourself a morning person. You start getting up earlier, and then before you know it, that'll become a habit. So by saying I can't sponsor, absolute tosh. You absolutely can. Make it a habit to start asking people. Make it a habit to start posting on your personal page. It's like anything in life. It's that, like, and again, like Laura said at the beginning, it's about making that decision and making that decision to do it. And all the people that have just said, you don't post on your personal page, I can bet my bottom dollar it's because you're worried about what other people are going to think, right? Like with anything in this business. If I told you you could earn £500 a month, £5,000 a month, £10,000 a month, £32,000 a month, 50 grand a month, become a millionaire, would you worry about what other people think? I don't think you'd really care by that point. So you need to have that mindset right at the beginning, because those people don't pay your bills, and it's exactly the same with anything. So that is your Facebook, your feed, your decision, your life. So that's what you just need to remember. Okay, so I'll come back on to, and I just need to add, I didn't always have that confidence with saying that. That has grown over time. We all had all those same feelings in the beginning. We all started out just like everybody starts as an essential consultant, but you have to just build those habits. And before you know it, not in an arrogant way, but it is true. Those people do not choose, don't get to dictate your life. It's your Facebook feed, so it's your choice what you put on there. It's their choice whether they want to watch it, look at it. I'll find a post in a minute and I'll share it. I remember saying, I've had people saying, oh, those annoying sense consultants, oh, it's them people. But you're not doing it for them. You're doing it for the people, like they said, that message you and say like, oh, I want to join. You've really inspired me. I want to be able to pay off my debt. You're doing it for those people. So you need to drown out those ones over here and listen to these ones. Okay, right. So I'm going to talk about the host join kit. So many times people will say, oh, have we got any offers on joining Scentsy because they don't want to spend £85 on a kit. You have an offer on joining Scentsy on every single qualifying order that you put through. Every single one. You might not realize this, but basically, if you were going out into the world and doing a physical party, remember those days, and the hostess of that party got her host rewards, she could join Scentsy for free if she earned £50 free credit, okay? Every single qualifying order that you put through, you have that free credit sitting there. So somebody can join the host join kit for £50. If you've built a relationship with that person and you want to offer them the host join kit for £25 and you want to offset some of that credit, there you go. They can join for £25. It's your business, your decision, but you have the opportunity on every single qualifying order that you put through to offer the host join kit to somebody. Okay, that's not flipping the whole party and the PRV to them, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit in a minute. Because that's not necessarily a bad thing to do. I'm going to come on to why in a minute. However, you have an opportunity to flip the host join kit so many times. And as Laura Bynes actually said earlier, she was like, you can offer them that, but then 9 times out of 10, Laura, well, actually, you said mostly, didn't you? She actually talks them into the £85 kit. So it's a conversation starter, and then you can build on it from there. I'm not going to go into that too much more now because we've all got trainings on how to do it. I know I've got I've got a link I can share from YouTube. I'm sure the girls have as well that we can share after on how to process the host join kit. Basically, the kit goes to the person and then the rest of your order, you close off the rest of the host rewards in the normal way, the half prices, and the rest of your order comes to you in the normal way. So we can show you how to do the details later, but just know that on every single qualifying party that has got host rewards on there, you have the opportunity to sign someone up for whatever you want to. And honestly now, I literally, if I close off a party without joining them, I'm just like, oh, this is just not happening. Like, I literally make it my mission on every and I know the girls do too, on every single party to close off, to offer that to somebody, because it's literally just like, it's just a kit just sitting there, and it's just like, oh my God, I need to offer that to somebody. So utilize the host join kit, really, really important. You cannot, if you are going to discount that with using, can you do this even, no, because you make them the host home. That's kind of part of the admin part of putting it through. But yeah, so basically on every party that if you put it on the system, you've collected in the orders, you can offer that kit to somebody, but you just add them, make them the host. But that's all kind of like admin bits of it. If you are deciding, if you're going to offer it for £50, that's how much it is, you can advertise that. If you are going to discount that in any way, shape or form, using your free credit, which is at your discretion, you cannot say join for £25. That is a personal special. So you can say, I have an amazing offer to, join tonight, pop me a message for info, or who would like information. Okay, so next thing. Never, ever, 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 ever cold message anybody about joining Scentsy. I cannot tell you how many times a week, mostly on Instagram, if I'm honest, and the girls get too. I will get somebody in my inbox from another network marketing company, and it actually cracks me up because my Instagram could not be more Scentsy. Like, if it tried, they'll message me and go, hi, I really like your feed. You'd be really good at network marketing. Yeah, I can get that. And not in a, it's like if They don't know me. They haven't built a relationship with me. Clearly, they've not taken any time to have a look through my social media. And in the early days, I'll be honest, I used to get like, oh my God, look at these people. And now I either ignore it and that, like, not in a, you know, we're busy and, you know, that is not an income producing activity going back to that person. I focus on my own business. But if I feel like I want to, I'm not rude. I just go back and I'll go, you know, I'm with Scentsy, if I can give you one tip, this is not how to network, and flip it around, and other girls do it too, because that's absolutely not how to network. Do not ever cold message somebody and just say, do you want to join? Do you want to join my team? You don't know anything about them. You don't know, because honestly, people will just run the other way. And I fully understand in the early days when you want to, you know, you want to grow and you want to develop and but it's so important to do this authentically and do it organically, because if you did happen to get someone to join like that, it's never going to go anywhere. They're never going to do anything. They're never going to, it's not real. It's just never going to work. So don't let it frustrate you anymore if it does, because I fully get that I used to be that person, but now I almost just kind of smile, breathe and go, give them a bit of advice if you want to. It's probably just bad guidance, because I've had, again, I don't know, I was with another company and I've had bad guidance in the past, and, you know, again, they might not have had great guidance. So I'm just saying that's absolutely not how to network. Okay. Yeah, don't cold call. Yeah, and as well, if you're like cold messaging somebody that you're not friends with, it's going to go into their others folder anyway, so they're probably not going to see it. Okay.
Actually.
What's that?
More than likely.
More than likely, yeah, they're not going to see it. Right. Next bit was, I've said that bit. What have I written? Dream team list. You should all, I'm sure all of you are on our each individual sponsor any match WhatsApp groups that we've set up. So one of the first things that we sent out on that was, you know, you need to be having a dream team list. You need to have a list of people in your sites that you think would be amazing at Scentsy. You know, people that are your customers, people that you've got relationships with. And what's going to happen as time goes on is people on that list are going to join your team, and you're going to tick them off, and then you're going to add to that. And it's as you're building relationships with people, and it's as you're talking. But again, there's a quote from Tony Robbins. I've actually saved it in my notes. As Tony Robbins says, where focus goes, energy flows. Where attention goes, or where focus goes, energy flows. To get what you really want in life, you need a clear goal that has purpose and meaning behind it. Once this is in place, you can focus your energy on the goal and become obsessive about it. That's the secret of how energy flows where your attention goes. And I remember seeing a quote once, or like something on social media that said, some people might say I'm crazy or batshit crazy, but I call it passionate. Well, I'm batshit passionate.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I've seen that one.
You know what? If people think I'm crazy for being this passionate about these, I'll take that. Like, totally, 100% own that fact. Because why not? Like, why the hell not? Like we keep saying, you need to think bigger. Like, this is your life. And I'm not going to get into like mindset and all that, because you know I can talk about that all night. But you need to focus your energy on this. You get one shot on this planet. Do you want to look back in 20 years and just think, oh, what would have happened if I'd like reached out to a few more people about joining or offered that opportunity? And coming back to what the girl said at the beginning, what you literally have your hands on is solid gold, like an absolute real opportunity to get people out of debt, to pay off all their credit cards, to buy them a new house, or if they don't want it to that level, you know, so they can take their children on holiday or whatever it is. You have an opportunity here to help them to do that. So just don't keep it to yourself. Like, why would you? Okay. I think, the last couple of bits we were going to cover was about the current incentive and a couple of like myth busters. So I've actually just copied over one. So I'll just say, I can guarantee, because we all hear it all the time, there are too many consultants in my area. Excuse. My area is saturated. Excuse. I know loads of Scentsy consultants doing it already. Excuse. That's just an absolute truth bomb. Okay, we all hear it all the time. There are 1.47 million people in Essex alone. Okay, we all live within a 10-minute radius of each other. Tanya, who's an SSD, lives in Canby Island, which is close. Claire, who's an SSD, like Suzanne and Emma.
I was gonna go, I can't remember her name.
They are sisters in Scotland, both reached SSD. There are billions upon billions of people in the world. The whole saturated thing is an absolute myth, because yes, when you start, like that is your friends and family and the people that we all know, we know loads of similar people. Like that's when you first start. But then that person's got a cousin, who's got a sister, who's got an auntie, who's got a work colleague that lives in Surrey, that lives in Scotland, that lives in France, that lives in, like, we are an international business, okay? So saturation doesn't actually exist. So that is 100% like the first myth busting, first of all. So
you know what, I was just gonna say what I say, because where I live is a very small town, and obviously there are a lot of us in here in this town. And when someone says to me, oh, but there's so many people in South Woodham, literally, no joke, my answer is, so?
Yeah.
Like, well, what do you mean so?
Does it matter?
Why does it matter? That's exactly what I said. Why does it matter? Well, because everyone's selling. And I'm like, do you think everyone that is a Scentsy consultant in this town only sells to people in this town? And do you think we all just need to know the same people? Like, we're not like a little community where we don't venture out. I'm like, I sell to some people here, but then I also sell to people here and people here and people here, and they then all network off to different people. I'm like, it's totally irrelevant how many of us there are in this town. Like, if they've all got their own Scentsy consultants, then you sell to people, you all have different paths from old school friends, old work colleagues, your family or whatever. Like Laura said, it leads off into different paths. It's literally irrelevant. So if someone ever says it's saturated, literally just say so. It doesn't matter. It depends how hard you want to work.
I always say it as well, when Laura brings that up, obviously me and Tanya, both SSDs, she's my frontline SSD. She's my sister-in-law. So we've got the same family. We've got the same, we're at, she'll kill me for saying this, but I think we're like 4 years apart in age. Maybe we're 3. Maybe it's less than that. Maybe it's more than that. I don't know. Maybe I'm quite a bit older than her, but I can't remember. But we have the same group of social friends. We go out in the same group as friends. We all go out together. Yet we both hit SSD. And I think if anyone was going to struggle doing that, when you've got the same family and the same friends, how has that happened? Because I tell you what, we've worked bloody hard in going out and finding new people. And obviously then Claire tumble on Claire, well, that's her best friend that also lives in Canvey, that's also in our social circle. Me and Laura, when we first met, we had something ridiculous, like 200 friends in common. And for the first probably 6 months of knowing each other, she was like talking about someone, and I go, I know her. And then I'd be talking about someone and she'd go, I know them, they're like my friend's cousin, sister. And we knew so many people that were the same people. But yeah, actually, I don't think it's ever affected us to a point where I've gone, I sell to one of her customers or she sells to one of mine by accident or anything. It's never even crossed. So when somebody says to you, oh, there's too many consultants in my area. I mean, Nick Wilson lives in Wickford. Amanda Wing lives in Wickford. Both directors. And I'm trying to think who else. I'm probably leaving, like I can literally, honestly, I could go on. But there's definitely no such thing as saturation. That word is just a dirty word. So you guys need to get it out of your heads as well, because I actually, when I hear people say it, I get really angry. It makes me want to go, no, it's not about being saturation. It's about actually that you're not working hard enough if you really, really want it. Because
it's the same principle, okay? Do you think if somebody thinks, I'm going to train to be a hairdresser, oh, there's too many hairdressers in the world. I'm going to train to be an accountant. There's too many. You wouldn't even think about how many.
Do you know what? I can't think how it's written, but there is a picture I've seen. You'll probably be able to find it on Pinterest, and it's in the bread aisle at a supermarket.
Oh, yeah.
And there's all the different breads, and they say like there's God knows how many different brands, but that doesn't stop a new brand going, oh, I'm not going to do it because there's already 55,000 brands of people that make bread. You know what I mean? It's irrelevant.
Do you think David Beckham or Ronaldo thought, I'm not going to go be a footballer because there's hundreds and hundreds of footballers? There's people that want it badly enough, and there's people that are prepared to work for it, and that's why they have success. So you have to have exactly the same mindset with your Scentsy business. Sorry,
which I think that also goes with the Mythbuster one that we were saying earlier, of people saying, oh, well, it's a bit late for me to get into it now, or you all got in at the right time. And honestly, I always think, actually, I don't know if she'll be watching, Laura, but you're Laura Street. I always think, obviously, how quick she joined and just skyrocketed like that because she worked hard, because she wanted it. and she worked her butt off to get it. It's absolutely nothing to do with the fact that she's been doing it 5 years, because she hasn't.
It's never a right time.
No, exactly. It's just how hard you want to work for it.
And things we just talked about, oh, sorry, Laura, am I cut you off, was about how basically if you put all this into practice, this links hand in hand. Everything we've taught you should teach you how to earn this incentive. And there shouldn't be one person that's watching right now. There's 96 right now. Every single person that's on here should be able to hit level 3 of the incentive.
100%.
And that all starts with having that right mindset of being able to hit it. If you looked at that incentive and went, oh my God, I can't sponsor 3 people, then you're not going to sponsor 3 people.
It's 3
if you look at that and say, I can sponsor 3 people, then you 100% can. It's 100% all in whether or not you believe that you can do it. I remember when the slingshot one for Canada, Laura, you probably remember when it came out, I phoned Laura and I went, oh my God, I'm going to go to Canada. This was like day 1, the incentive was released. And to be fair, in the back of my mind a little bit, I was thinking, oh my God, like that's not just level 3, that's like top 50. And like, but why not believe that you're going to do it? Because if you sit there and you go, oh, I can't do it, then you're not really going to try. If you're not looking at the incentive tracker till 2 months down the line, so you have then no idea where you are, that you're never going to do it. You need to, when the Disney one came out, I literally remember sitting in a hairdresser's and going, right, this is exactly what I need to do and when I need to do it by to be able to earn that incentive. You need to break it down and you need to tell yourself and give yourself a time scale. Like we said in week 1, set your goal, set your time scales, and then it becomes achievable. Yeah.
Energy flows where your attention goes.
Exactly.
It's always a quote.
It's always a quote.
What is the time, girls? I'm thinking like we've been on. Can
I just put in the last little bit that I think is really, really important? And I know Lisa talked about numbers again. This is what I wrote down at the beginning. And I said, if we don't cover it, I'll say it at the end. I think it's really important to get across to everybody, and you all understand that whether it's any of us or anyone that's sponsoring, not every single person that you sponsor is going to work. Not every single person that you sponsor, like you might sponsor somebody and they're all excited and then literally 2 weeks later they disappear off the face of the planet and you never hear from them again. You need to understand that is nothing to do with you, because every single person that you sponsor, they've got the same opportunity, the same coaching, the same stuff in our groups, the same stuff on YouTube. From that point on, that's down to them. Okay, so motivate. All you can ever do as a sponsor or a leader is inspire people. Motivation has to come from within the person. So there's a misconception that I've heard people say before, like, oh, but I've sponsored 3 people and like they just don't do anything, or I've got a team full of hobbyists, or we'll find more people that do want it, because I'm gonna just I can't find my laptop. I was gonna say my laptop. I'm on it. I had this conversation with somebody last month and they asked how many active frontline I had and how many frontline consultants. And so I was gonna look, but it's something like I had like 32 active frontline, but actually in my frontline was about 80. So there's a majority of them that are not doing, like weren't active, and that's fine because that's their decision. But what I'm saying is you need to understand, if you sponsor 5 people and only 2 of them ever do anything, it's no reflection on you, and you can't waste your energy trying to restart. I'm trying to think of an analogy that's not rude to anybody, and I don't mean it in a bad way, but like you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
Let's say that.
That's what, it's not. So you can't keep trying to like restart something that's not there. Like I'm trying to think of like,
it's absolutely no reflection on you either, is it?
Like you can't relight a fire that's got water poured in it or something. Do you know what I mean? Like, so there's only so much you can do. So it has to reach a point where like you stop putting your energy and beating yourself up because you sponsored 3 people that didn't do anything. Do you know how many people I've sponsored that didn't do anything, just got the kit and ran? And that, it does happen. So I just wanted everybody to realize that it does happen to everybody. And that's why it doesn't matter what level you get to, keep sponsoring and keep bringing in new people.
And that's kind of why we say with the whole numbers game, like we don't mean it as in, because it makes it sound like we're just talking about people as numbers, like totally not meaning it like that. But as you say, if you've sponsored 2 people and neither of them are doing something, then you are going to think, oh my God, like I can't recruit it. But it's no different to say Laura recruiting 100 people and only 50 of them doing it.
Yeah.
It's just, but it's because her numbers are bigger, it's not so apparent of then those 50 that aren't doing anything. And again, I link it back to when I worked in recruitment, and I think I'd always aim to get 3 people going for the same interview, because if I just had one person go for that interview each time and they didn't get it, I'd be like, oh God, I spent all that energy and all that time on that one person and they didn't get it. if I had 3 people going for that interview, 9 times out of 10, one of them would get it. And then I wouldn't be focusing on the people that didn't get it. I'm just hooray about that person that did get it. So that's when we say it's a numbers game. It 100% is. You could ask, like we said, 10 people and one person says yes. You could have 5 people join and one person skyrockets, but it's that one person that is then that energy that you've spent is what worth all that time.
It's a bit about, this is like, I will include the income disclosure statement, right? But I worked out last month. So this is just based on my own frontline. So only people that I've sponsored, no one else within my team. And this is just my frontline that are certified or essential, which means they've put in maybe orders that were 100 PRV and maybe orders that were 200 PRV that are active. And just off of those alone, I earned £680 just off of my hobbyists last month. So when you look at it like that, that's before I put in my 2,500 PRV that I did. That's before I earned any money from my director teams or anywhere else. Just my certified and hobbyists there and my essential consultants, my brand new Teamies, I earned £680 off. And when you think that's an income, like that would have been enough to keep me off work monthly, to pay for my bills and what I needed to put in my household bills, that's enough. So when you say, like when people are saying, oh, I've only got a team of hobbyists, they don't do anything, they're only putting in little orders, actually appreciate every single one of them. Because when you get to levels when you're lead or you're, say, for example, it takes you 10 teamies and finally you hit lead, but when you do, they're all your frontline, you will start to earn that sort of money on them. So we're not going to get too into money. There's a leadership training tomorrow night that's all on money. And if you want to hear that, it's in the Level Up program. So if you're in there, you'll hear it. If not, it will go on YouTube at some point. But I think I see quite a lot. Oh, I've only got a team of hobbyists. I haven't got no rock stars. I just want some rock stars. And I think to myself, you need to be grateful for every single person that's in your team. I know I certainly am. Whether they put in 1 PRV or whether they put in 5,000 PRV, they all get the same treatment from me. Every single person.
Sorry, just to answer Sarah's question. I have zero issue. No, where was it? What do you say when people? I say I don't get anything. It means absolutely not. I don't earn anything just for you joining. You cannot have success in this business without helping other people to have success. So the only difference with what we do to a traditional company is if this was, let's just say Teamie car motor group where Dan used to work. Okay, I can guarantee the people at the bottom of that company were making the people at the top of the company a hell of a lot of money. But the difference is this person probably didn't really have the opportunity to overtake that person. Everybody is starting their own business and everybody wins basically. So it's not about earning money off other people.
I also with that, I always say like it's not to do with like all you're getting is a bonus. And I always say this to people, I say I just get a bonus because I actually help them. Yeah. I help them to hit a promotion. So therefore I get a bonus. Yes, it's based on what they do, but I help them. That's why I help people. That's why I message people. That's why I do lives. That's why I do trainings. That's why we do this at the end of the day, not just to obviously, to make more money ourselves, but to help you guys make money. And then we get a bonus based on that. You get a bonus on your team that's done that. And that's how you've got to look at it. And I think when people ask, I always say, we don't get any of their money. And it's really important that you know that when you're sponsoring someone and they say, well, what do you get from me? You say, actually, I don't get anything from you. What you make is yours. What you make is your own money. All I get is a bonus for actually helping you.
Yes.
And that bonus is very nice. It's very nice. But no, seriously, like that's a really, like, I think it's a really good question actually. And in sponsoring training, I think that's a really good question to come up because I have been asked that a few times. And as I said at the beginning, I had a guy today ask
Lisa
me.
Butler has just got a
team. Oh my God, that's amazing.
Go Lise. I had a guy this week literally ask me outright, how much do you earn? How much can I earn? And I was like, oh. So, you will get people that just want to know that. That's sometimes a good sponsor. If you know someone's driven by money as well, if you show them what you get. That's how I sponsored.
And that's the thing, I suppose that's like what I said in the beginning, is getting to know your customers. If you're approaching someone about an opportunity, you need to know what drives them and what they're, because if it's it's a busy mum that's struggling for money but wants something for herself, then you're sharing the opportunity in one way. If it's like Lisa said, someone that is so driven by money, then fantastic. Well, look, do you want to see what I earn for the hours that I'm working it? Like, tailor it to the person that you're talking to, dependent on their wants and their needs, because again, it's about them and it's not about you. Don't just send the same message to every single person you're approaching. Tailor it dependent on what that person wants from this experience.
Also, it's fully okay to say you're driven by money. It's
fine.
I am.
Nothing wrong. It doesn't make you ungrateful for what you have, because we all know, you know, by the law of gratitude, you cannot have more unless you're grateful for what you have. But it's fully okay to say, I want nice things in life. I want, you know, financial freedom. I want to be able to pay off my debt. I want to be able to go on holiday whenever I want. I want to be able to buy my cat. Like,
I want to build an extension.
Extension. I want to buy a caravan. Woohoo! Like, it's actually, there's nothing wrong with saying, I want to earn more money in life. Like, money doesn't bring you happiness, but it brings you freedom and it brings you choices. And it's actually fully okay to say that.
Oh, have I just clicked on? I've just clicked on that quote and I've ended up, I don't know where we've all gone. Are you all sort of in my...
We can still see you.
Okay, so it's just me. That's fine. So, the other things, guys, when you are talking about money, really, 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 really important, you've got to include the income disclosure form. Wherever you're talking about anything, whether it's the fact that you've bought some sweets because of Scentsy, whether you've, I don't know, put petrol in your car because of Scentsy, you must include the income disclosure statement. So go and make sure. I save mine. It's in my notes of my phone. I know, Laura, I think you both do the same, girls, don't you?
Yeah.
And that way, every time you write it, anything to do with any form of spending that you're grateful for, stick the income disclosure statement. Don't put it anywhere if you're talking about money, holidays, trips, anything that you're... I'm sorry, I'm still trying to...
I've just seen that what Natalie's just written. That's literally one of the best things I've ever read. It's brilliant.
I can't even see. Do you know, I don't know what...
It says money doesn't buy you happiness, but it's more comfortable to cry in a Mercedes than on a bicycle. I love that. That's brilliant.
We should get all these quotes made into something.
Yeah.
What about talking about freebies, half prices? Yeah, include the income disclosure statement. You can't go wrong. If you put it everywhere, you can never get pulled up for not including it. I got a compliance email last month before, because I didn't include it. So, like, even us SSDs get pulled up by compliance.
So if you're not sure, just include it.
Yeah, just include it.
Compliance email about advertising Disney wrong. Still, like, honestly, I don't know.
It happens. Don't worry about it. Right, so we've got a bit of homework for you. Here's your homework. We feel like we've been chatting. I've got really hot where we've been talking as well.
I know, I'm really hot as well.
I'm rosy. Okay, so this week, I keep reading the wrong week. Hopefully you've taken one thing at least from tonight. Hopefully you've taken more than one. I really hope you can. Your challenge tonight is to go for 10 no's this week. Now, if you've already gone for your 10 no's and you've already got them, your challenge is to do it again. So start from scratch, start from today, 10 no's from today, go out there and go and find it. I don't know who iPhone is, but if you search the workstation income disclosure, there's like a little magnifying glass, search it and put in there income disclosure, it'll come up. You can download it, save it to your phone. And if you get a really big link, because it does come up really big, there's a website called tinyurl.com. You go on there, it's free. You can put the website into there and it literally shrinks it into like 4 words. So it doesn't look quite so chunky on your post, especially if you're posting on Instagram. Second thing, if you've never made a join pack, we want you to go and make a join pack and go and advertise it. Go and make 5 and advertise them. Get rid of them. I will share in the group my Google Drive. You can take what you like from it. You don't need to ask. Take it, save it, add it to your own. Make them personal or make your own if you're a whiz with PicMonkey. Or if you've already got a join pack, then get them out there or even revamp it, revisit it, revamp it. Your challenge is to get your sponsor on this week. More than anything, we want to hear the success stories. Every time you sponsor someone, you come into our group, find the thread, and you shout yourself out so that we can all cheerlead you. We can all give you like a whoop whoop and all the rest of it. Lastly, last little thing, which is really, really important. Next week is graduation week, and we're going to try and plan something a little bit special for you all. Same time, same place. Actually, it'll be on Tuesday next week, though.
Yeah.
But for that to happen, we need you to comment on. I think I'll do a Google form. We will need you to fill in a Google form. It literally is a link. You click on it, and you will need to fill it in to say that you've completed the full 6 weeks. Okay. If you've missed out on any weeks, you need to go back and catch them up. You'd only be cheating yourself, but hopefully we're just going to be taking your word for it. And then everybody that has completed the 6 weeks, then we will be doing something special next week. So more than anything, I know we will talk about this next week, but I just want to say from my own personal is thank you for every single one of you that has turned up every single bloody week and listened to us yab it on for like hours and hours and hours. And like, I want to say that you guys have inspired me to do, like, I'm pushing to levels that I have never pushed to, like to get 1,300 PRV already this month. It has been a push for me, but I'm doing that because I'm putting into practice everything that we're talking about to show you guys that we're putting it all into practice as well. So you are making us up our game more than you realize as well. So anyway, right, I'm gonna, if anyone wants to add anything, feel free. But yeah.
No, it was just exactly the same as that. Like, this has been, it has exactly the same effect on us. It makes us go away with like fire in our belly and go, right, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that, I'm going to implement that, because, you know, everybody can get complacent. Not complacent, that's the wrong word, but it's always good to have a reminder, always be learning. It doesn't matter how long you've been in, and it's always good to have that refresher. So yeah, 100% just thank you, because, you know, if we weren't getting your feedback, that wouldn't then feed back into us.
Yeah, definitely.
Amazing.
Well, obviously there was something else I just wanted to say quickly, but I can't remember what it's gone. My brain's like, right, well, I'll put the Google form out. I'm sure there's going to be something. It will come, and if not, we'll just add it on to next week. But go get
it's totally my birthday on Monday, so I will make sure I don't have too many Prosecco's on Monday night. Lucky we're not training on Tuesday, because I'll be like, I don't know what to say.
Tuesday night, we are. Tuesday night.
Yeah. Tuesday night. So yeah, it's all right. My birthday's Monday.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Honestly, loved all this. It's been brilliant. So, right, we will put some threads up. We'd love you to join in with whatever we ask over the next few days to help us for next week. And I hope you've all had a good one. And just so that was what I was going to say. These will be uploaded eventually onto YouTube. So you will have these to go back to with your team at any point. You'll be able to share them from any of our YouTube platforms. So, and then what we will try and do, the aim of this is to run this every year.
Yeah.
Every year, every January, we will be here 2 hours.
Yeah.
9 hours.
Let's just say 2 hours. Let's never say an hour. It's never going to happen.
All right, guys. Anyway, right, I'm going to go now. I'm going to stop talking. Right, speak to you soon, guys. Bye. Bye.